Hello friends, welcome back to the new tutorial of the Python. Today we are going to learn how to make the JSON API calls and handle the responses. Those who haven't subscribed my channel yet, please do subscribe my channel. And if you like the video, please do like, share and comment on my video. Let's get started. So making JSON API calls and handling the responses is a common task in the Python, especially for the interacting with the web services. To achieve this, you will typically use the request library, which is simplifies the process for sending the HTTP request and the handling the responses. So this is default, that is requests. Okay. So making a get request. So I'm going to call a API and get the response from that. I'm going to use a get request API to retrieve the data from the API. Here you can send the get request to a JSON API. So let's have a look. So very simple and the very easy. I'm going to use the JSON placeholder APIs. Okay. So let's go and just add it. Okay, import request, and this is our API URL. Any API URL you can just add with requests.get URL and parse the JSON response. Okay, and print the data. Okay, let's have a look. You can see data is coming, the response is there, right? So this is how we can call the API get request API in Python. Simple. Now, handling the errors. Currently, I'm just calling the API. I'm not handling any kind of errors like the statuses and all. Okay. So in the now I'm going to handle each and everything. So let's have a look of that one. So here you can see, first of all, import request API try send the get request. Okay, the same. Check the HTTP errors. Response.raise for status. This will raise an error for a bad responses. 400 or 500. Okay. Parse the JSON response and the data. Exception. Request.exception HTTP error. This is Python way to handle the request as HTTP error. That an HTTP error occurred and the exceptions will come like as error that other error occurred and we print the error. Okay, if I try to print it giving me the response faster, so there is no thing, it will come to the catch block or the error block. Okay, next one, making a post request. Here you can see the code will catch the any HTTP errors 404 500 and other potential issues, network and the problems. Okay, making a post request to send the data to an API. For example, to create a new resource you will use the post request. You will often need to send the JSON in the request body. Okay, sometimes we want to send some data to the API. In that scenario we have to create a post request. Okay, so here you can see that we have a post request and data to be sent in the JSON format should be there. I'm sending the data in the JSON format. Somewhere we have to send the data in the form, so in that scenario we have to update accordingly. Mostly we are using the JSON format, right? So payload, title, body and the user ID. Okay, and here we have to use request dot post with URL and the JSON is equal to payload. Pass the JSON response data and print that one. Okay, let's print that one. So here you can see the data is successfully done. So this is how you can able to post a request and call the API. Okay, very simple, and whatever the data you want to send, you can send data like this. Okay, next one, sending the headers with the request. Sometimes we want to send the headers like the access token, bearer token. In that scenario, what we have to do? Sometimes you need to send the custom headers with the API request, such as authentication tokens or the content type. In that scenario, we can pass like this. So here headers content type and the authorization would be your bearer token. So this is how you can send with JSON payload and the headers. Okay, the rest of the functionality would be the same, right? So this is how you can send. Handling the timeouts, you can specify the timeout to ensure that the program does not hang indefinitely waiting for a response. Sometimes what will happen, like API call taking too much time, in that case you can add the timeout. Okay, so how you can add the timeout? So here request get URL timeout would be the 5 seconds. Here you can define that one and raise for the status and print that data accordingly. Okay, if the request dot exception timeout, then request the timeout, accept exceptions that here an error occurred and print that exception. Okay, next, query parameters. Sometimes in the URL we want the query parameters. Some APIs accept the parameters in the URI. So in that case, you can pass these parameters in a dictionary to the params argument in the get requests. Okay. So always query parameters is in the get requests. Make sure. Okay. So here you can see that we have this. Okay. Explain you. So here you can see we have a parameters that is user ID. On the behalf of user ID, we have to fetch some data. Okay. So let's save it and let's try to fetch it. Okay, here you can see that with the user ID, we will fetch all the respective data. Okay, so this is how you can use the query parameters. Next, handling different responses with the status code. Like you can handle the different status codes using the response status code. On the behalf of it, you can handle anything. So response dot status code 200, then print success and print the data. Else if, okay, for this you have to use else if like this. Okay, status code 4004 print not found, else unexpected status code. Okay, this is that one. Next we have the example for the working real API. So weather API here we are using. Already I have uploaded the weather API. So API key you have to mention the city London, and this is our API URL. And if the response status 200, it will 200, then print the data with the city and the temperature, else the status code that something went wrong. Okay, so this is how you can work around the APIs, how to call the APIs, right? In the next video, we are going to learn the sending the emails with the Python, STMP library, and the HTML emails. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day.